Hello everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Well, I hope. Is everybody okay? Excuse me, my hair's getting. How is everyone? Everybody good? Yeah? Are you learning lots of English right now? Being shut down and shut in? Lots of opportunity to learn English. Okay, and today we are going to expand your knowledge of English even more by learning a little bit more about COVID-19. COVID-19. Now, I did do a video on COVID-19. It must be a few days ago now, quite a technical video. If people wanted to have a little look at that, they could do. But what I also did was I have decided to expand that a little bit more today with more verbs and adjectives and phrases that we are seeing right now in the news. Okay, now first of all, if you are new to our wonderful live lessons streamed here on Facebook and YouTube, then go along to Engli-teach.com, open up your free access account, and we will see then what is going to happen. Lots of good things. So let's get a move on with the lesson. First of all, let me say hello to Madhu, hello to Mimchi, hello, hope I'm saying that okay. All right, let's make a start. Is everybody ready? Yes? Okay. All right, so at the moment we are learning a lot about COVID-19. COVID-19, but it's also being referred to as different things actually when you listen in the media. It's also being referred to as coronavirus. And even I've heard the new coronavirus, I've heard that phrase as well. So it's not just COVID-19, it's many different things it's being referred to as. So I'm going to probably just use COVID or COVID-19 coronavirus. Is this changing a lot in your country? Let me know if this is changing a lot in your country. Okay. All right, let's continue. So something that we're hearing quite a lot of is they tested positive or they tested negative or she tested positive or she or he tested negative. So we need to have the pronouns, okay? These are the pronouns. Using the pronouns with they tested negative. So obviously they tested positive means that they've got the virus, which is almost like a little mini disease actually. They tested negative means they don't have COVID-19. So quite important words to learn. Okay, now something we are hearing a lot about, most definitely in England, I don't know about anybody else, is this thing called PPE. PPE. When you hear it in the news, they're saying it quite fast. PPE. Do you know what that means, PPE? If you do, drop it in the comments. PPE. Anybody know? Let's see if I can get a nice little picture up here for you. Okay, here we go. PPE is this. PPE. This is PPE. And as you can see here, there is a notice saying, can you help? In England, I'm in the UK, we don't have enough PPE for the front line workers, okay? And that's an important one, actually. Front line. Let me cancel that. Front line. So front line are the people that are working directly with COVID-19, okay? So when we say they are frontline workers, that means they are, so frontline workers. We're hearing this a lot at the moment, frontline workers. So frontline workers are nurses, doctors, carers, people working in the supermarkets, bus drivers, taxi drivers, anybody that's working directly with people that are potentially infected with COVID-19, or they're in a public service and it's their job, so a nurse or a doctor. So our frontline workers don't have enough PPE. PPE means personal protective equipment, okay? Personal protective equipment. And I know it's not just England. There are lots and lots of countries that don't have PPE. So lots of doctors and hospitals are asking, can you help? Because some people are crazy going around buying loads and loads of masks. I have a mask. I have one mask, but I had this from when I was decorating my house. I didn't go out and buy one. So lots of nurses just don't have the right equipment. Okay, so we say, you'll hear lots of NHS workers. Lots of NHS workers do not have enough PPE or the right PPE, and we're seeing this all over the news. NHS workers here, these are people that work in the National Health Service in England. So that's people that work in our hospitals. So sadly, lots of our NHS workers are having to go to work with like a bin bag or something like that, you know, not really wearing the right equipment. Which is very, very sad. So this is another worker. Here we are. This was in the newspaper in England, in The Guardian, because they were saying that NHS frontline workers don't have enough PPE, okay? Do not have enough PPE or the right equipment, and they are working directly with obviously infected people. So that's really, really important. Okay, So, because of this, the government are making lots of new legislations, okay, legislations very quickly. I know in England it's the first time ever that we've seen the government react really fast and make laws. So they are part. What is legislation? Legislations are laws that are passed in Parliament. So once it becomes a law, you must abide by those rules. So laws are rules, okay? They're pretty much the same thing. Let's just move this up a little bit. Okay, they're pretty much the same thing. I'm going to squish myself. Okay, how is everybody? Hannah, your country lacks PPE. Yes, mine too. I'm just going to have a look at the comments. I can't read your name. It's in Arabic, but what time is it in your country? 9:32 a.m. In my country right now, it's 9:32 a.m. Okay, this is my time in my country right now. Okay, so let's continue. And if you have any questions about the words I'm using or anything else, then let me know in the comments and I can help explain this as we are going along. And I've also seen that we have subtitles. Do you have subtitles? This is a new feature, which is wonderful. Thank you, Facebook. Putting subtitles on my classes at the bottom. I think people are going to find that very useful. Okay, so let's look at some vocabulary. Outbreak, outbreak. This is something we heard quite a lot initially at the start of this. There was an outbreak in Wuhan, China. So what does outbreak mean? Because we have had outbreak, epidemic, and pandemic. Okay, I'm going to put those all underneath here. So we've had outbreak, epidemic, and pandemic. Do you know the difference between the three? They're very similar. Okay, these are very similar, but they are also different. Okay, so an outbreak is when there is normally an infection or an infectious disease that comes very suddenly into existence, into actually affecting us, because it could have been lingering, so already existent. But by the time it becomes known to everybody and affects everyone, we say outbreak. It's sudden, an outbreak, okay? So there was an outbreak of COVID-19 in Wuhan, China. And then what happened? It became bigger and bigger. And this is where these turn. So an outbreak is like this, but epidemic is bigger. Pandemic is like this. So pandemic is worldwide, very important. Epidemic is still important, dangerous, concerning. These are all the adjectives we would use to describe an epidemic. An outbreak is smaller than a pandemic. Okay, so I hope that's useful to you. All right, excellent. Now, okay, so when it spread, it became a pandemic. I'm just going to put these down here. When it spread, it became, an epidemic, and the WHO declared it a pandemic. Now, who are the WHO? Hopefully you will know. The WHO are the World Health Organization, and in actual fact, that should all be in capitals as an abbreviation of the organization. The WHO declared this a pandemic. Okay, so what have all countries wanted to do? They have all wanted to limit the transmission, okay? They have all wanted to limit the transmission. Now, limit means to reduce, to make smaller, okay? You can also reduce a sauce or water when you're cooking, but limit, they wanted to limit the transmission. So transmission means spread. They have wanted to stop this spreading. Okay, very good, excellent. And one thing all countries have definitely tried to do is they have tried to flatten the curve. And I've got a really nice picture here. Okay, they have all tried to flatten the curve, and we've heard this a lot in England. Okay, flatten the curve. Okay, so this is the curve. I might just bring this down. Okay, this is the curve, and as you can see here, when we say flatten the curve, we mean we want to make smaller or reduce. Okay, let me write that down for you. Flatten the curve. Now, this is the curve. This here is the curve. This is the curve. The curve. The curve. The curve. So a curve, okay, is a shape. And what all governments want to do is they want to flatten the curve. This here, this is flatten the curve. Flatten. They want to make this flat. Flatten the curve, okay? Reduce, make smaller. Make flatter. Okay? And obviously, the reason that they want to do that is so that there are less deaths. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. I am very pleased that you are finding this useful. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's move on to the next part. Now, when we are talking about this flattening the curve, you will hear lots of news reporters refer to, or they are referring to, and this is a very formal and more serious way to talk about something. And here they are talking about what they're referring to is talking about the graph that shows the increase of affected people. So when you look at this graph, these are the amount of cases in the United States. 4,670 only in mainland China, which is quite amazing. And in Italy, we have 5,643 per day, and total deaths here is 807 per day. Okay, so this is how you learn to read information from graphs. And under here, we have the months of the year: February, March, and April. Okay, so we also call this an infograph. Okay, all of these things here are infographs, because they give us information, or it gives us information in the format of a graph. So instead of saying gives us information in the form of a graph, we say infograph. Okay, wonderful. How is everybody? Okay, let's continue. Make that a little bit smaller. All right. Okay, now obviously everybody is doing lots of staying in, which is referred to as isolation. So when you self-isolate, okay, when you self-isolate, you stay in, okay? When you self-isolate, you stay in. And self-isolation is very much a voluntary term at the moment. When you are told you have to do something by either the medical world or government, then we quarantine. Quarantine is much more serious, and this means you need to keep away from everyone else. So we are hearing self-isolation and quarantine an awful lot in the news, but they are very similar but different. Okay. Now, let's have a little look at some phrases lots of normal native speakers are using. Okay, so the first one is, I've had enough now. I've had enough now. This means they're fed up of. Fed up is another good, a good phrase. Fed up. Fed up means you're fatigued with the situation. You are bored with the situation. And bored as in you know it's gone on too long. I've had enough now means it's gone on too long. Another one you will hear a lot from people in England is, it's doing my head in now. It's doing my head in. It's doing my head in now. I'm so fed up with staying in. It's doing my head in. You won't get that phrase in a textbook. Okay. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Now, this might be some people that are maybe feeling ill with coronavirus, with the breathing. I can't take it anymore, you know, means that you've really had enough. Okay, you have had enough. Had enough. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you for all your lovely comments, everyone. I am reading them. Excellent. Thank you. Big loves to you all. Hope everybody is keeping happy, keeping calm. Okay. Now, let's have a look at some other verbs and phrases. So, shut down. Everyone's in shut down, shut down. You know, I can't resist a little song. Okay, so shut down. People will say, oh, we're in shutdown. Okay, we're in shutdown. Now, this is something that isn't always just used for COVID-19. We're in shutdown means we are cutting off from everyone, okay? And it's very similar to stay in, shut down and stay in. Stay in, stay safe. Okay, so stay in is stay in your house or stay in your flat. Lockdown. We're hearing this a lot in the news right now. Lockdown. Cities and countries are in lockdown. So basically, what does this mean? I missed out R. Okay. Cities and countries are in lockdown. This means no one can come in to certain countries and no one can come out or go out, come in or go out of certain countries. That's what lockdown means. And another word we're hearing quite a lot is this one about community spread and community transmission. Community spread and community transmission is it's explaining how the virus or the disease has spread within the community. So amongst people that live in the same area or the same communities, but they are unsure as to how it spread, which was the start of the information when we were receiving it from the COVID-19 reporters, was that they were unsure of how it was spreading in the community or the community spread or how it was being transmitted, so spread in the community. Okay, good. Any questions? Let me look in the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Hannah, I think we're all self-isolating. Is anyone not self-isolating in the class right now? Or is everybody self-isolating? Let me know. Are you isolating or not? I want to know. Okay. So let's have a look at I'm going to have a look at some adjectives that I've put together for you. It's a very big list of adjectives. Okay, so adjectives, as we all know, are describing words. Okay, they are words that we use to describe nouns, verbs, etc. So COVID-19 is contagious. COVID-19 is contagious. Contagious. Contagious means that it's very easy to spread. It spreads easily. Okay? COVID-19 is easy to spread. And I'm also going to put easy to catch. Catch. You catch a ball, but you can also catch a virus. You can also catch a disease. So when we say catch, we mean become infected. Okay? So catch is lower English. Infected, become infected is definitely higher level English. Okay. Thank you, Mohammed. That's a lovely comment. I'm so pleased you like my lessons, guys. I know I've had 2 days, maybe 3, where I haven't done a long live, but I think you all know right now, we're all at home. I have children too, and I've had to really spend lots of time with my children and try and lift their mood like I'm lifting yours, because everybody is fed up of being in. I always work from home anyway, so it's not too different for me, apart from people are dying, which is awful. But my actual home situation isn't really changed that much. So I'm trying to spread joy. Spread joy. Okay. Now these two words, symptomatic and asymptomatic, are very important words, and they're used a lot in the medical field. So you will hear medical people talking about symptomatic. So people who are symptomatic are people who show signs of having a infection or illness. So if someone is coughing a lot and has a fever and has a sore lungs and sore back, they are showing right now signs of COVID-19. So they have signs or symptoms, I did symptoms in the last lesson, symptoms of having COVID-19. Their symptoms are symptomatic because we can see them. Okay, that's the difference. To show signs, okay, to show signs is to see. So this is something that you can actually see with your eyes. If you can't see the symptoms, like you might not see the symptoms of cancer or arthritis, then this would be asymptomatic, which means people people who don't have the signs. Here, let me get this right. People who show signs are symptomatic. People who don't have signs, who don't have signs of the illness are asymptomatic. So that's very important. Okay, excellent. Well done. All right, let's move on. Hopefully no one here is showing signs at all. That would be awful. Okay. Now, because of how serious COVID-19 is, there are lots of governments and departments saying whether things are mandatory or voluntary. Mandatory or voluntary. Now, if something is mandatory, it means you must do it. You have to do it. It's mandatory, okay? You must stay in. Okay. All right, let's go back to the live stream. Okay. Yes, we are live. Okay. I'm just going to put here. Sorry, we lost connection, but I'm back now. Ta-da! And that's basically because everyone is on the internet. If you get a message saying this video interrupted, it will resume shortly. It will come back, okay? It will resume shortly. Not quite sure what happened there. Okay, if you have connection again, can you please drop it in the comments? If you have connection again, say, hi, Alison, in the comments, so I know that Facebook is working. Okay, if you, I'm going to put it up here. If you are getting the live, please say hi in the comments. Okay. Not quite sure what happened here. Okay, I think we're back again. All right, I am sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened there. Oh, has it done the same thing? It seems to be spamming quite a bit. I'm not sure what's going on here. Facebook, what's going on? Okay. All right. Can everybody hear? Let's continue. I am going to continue from where I was, which was I was talking about mandatory and voluntary. Okay, so mandatory means that you must do something. Okay, mandatory means that you must do something, and voluntary means that you can choose. Okay, voluntary means that you can choose. Now, okay, I think Facebook is going slightly bonkers here. Not quite sure what is going on. I'm just going to wait for a moment and see if you guys are getting connection with me. If you are, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you are. Okay. So it says we've been live here. However, I'm not seeing it, so I'm just going to continue. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So mandatory means that you must do something. You must stay in. You must follow government guidelines. Voluntary means you can choose. So you can choose to stay to eat what you want for dinner, but you must stay in. Does that help? I hope that helps. Okay, let's continue. Now, COVID-19 can be fatal. Fatal. And don't forget, we're talking right now about adjectives. We're now looking at adjectives. So fatal means that you can die. Okay, fatal means that you can die. And another word we are hearing an awful lot is unprecedented. 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 What is happening right now with COVID-19 is unprecedented. This means this has never happened before in our time. Okay? Unprecedented when something has never happened before. Okay? When something has never happened before, it is unprecedented. Okay? It is unprecedented. All right. Okay. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Let me go to our live. Let me see. Okay. All right. Now, we can also say the effects of COVID-19 are unprecedented. The effects of COVID-19 are unprecedented, which means again, it's never happened before. Okay, we are back. We are live again. All right, everybody. I don't know what's going on with the internet today. I think it's Monday morning. People have gone, wow, let's all do a live. And Facebook is having a meltdown. A meltdown. Oh, I'm melting. But I'm not. I'm back. Okay, so I was explaining, I don't know who got this, so I'm just going to explain it again. And if I'm sorry if you already heard it, but you know, for those of you that didn't, frugal. What does it mean? Frugal means to use something sparingly or economically. And we always talk about being frugal when we're talking about food and money. For example, you could go to a restaurant and get a really small piece of food. You know, these beautiful a la carte restaurants, they have these massive plates, huge plates. And right in the middle of the plate is a piece of food and a little bit of sauce. So we would say that, that's a bit of a frugal serving. That's a bit of a frugal serving. That's a bit of a small serving. But right now, because of COVID-19, everyone is being careful with their food. They are being frugal with their food because we don't want to keep going to the shops and buying food, because when you do that, it puts you at risk. And also, we don't want to be taking more than we need because other people need food. But also money. People don't know where the money is coming from right now. So people are being frugal with money. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for Engli-teach free access account, please do so, because you're going to get it free whilst COVID-19 is on. So you get the lessons free. So make sure you do that. We know everyone is being frugal right now, and we are doing what we can to help you learn English. So sign up, subscribe, and get it for free whilst you can. Okay. All right, now let's have a little look at some recommendations. Now, recommendations is a term that is used to describe advice, but it's a little bit more than advice, okay? It's a little bit stronger. So you could say is, what are the recommendations? What are the instructions? When you start to instruct someone, then you are doing it from a place of authority. Instructions, recommendations for buying. What are the recommendations for buying this iPhone? Is it good? What are the recommendations for my oil cleaning the air around me? Wonderful. It pumps up lots of fresh air. Steam. Inside are oils. Oils. So that all of my air is clean. So what are the recommendations to use this? Okay. It's to put in some water and a few drops of essential oil, lavender. Essential oil. That is the recommendations. Okay. That's the advice to make this work well. What are the recommendations for COVID-19? One of them is to wash your hands, okay? One of them is to wash your hands. Another one is to stay in. Stay in. Another one is to avoid contact. Avoid contact. Okay, avoid contact. Stay in and avoid contact. Social distancing. Now, actually, we haven't mentioned social distancing, I don't think. So social distancing is everywhere in the UK. I think everywhere. But social distancing is where you have to keep a certain space away from other people. Now, actually, let me put that away. Keep distance from other people. Now, I don't know if you saw me walking my dog the other day, and I don't take my dog out every single day because of COVID, but I make sure that I maintain the social distancing recommendations, okay? I maintain the social distancing recommendations, okay? Social recommendation. Okay. The other thing you can do is obviously be calm and be positive. This is really important. Now, I know it's a horrible situation right now, but everyone is in the same situation. And one thing is for sure, and that is if you stay happy as much as you can and calm and positive, it will be better. It will be better for you and the people around you. So it's very important. Okay. And obviously, the last recommendation that I think everybody should do is learn English with me. That's the other recommendation everyone should do. Learn English with Engli-teach every day online at engli-teach.com. Okay? Goals. What are your goals? Come on. What are your goals? Okay? Goals. And this is important. Stay in, learn English, reach your goals. Think of it like this, okay? Right now, work and other stuff isn't getting in the way of your studying. So now you can study more and reach your goals faster. Oh, wonderful. That's one good thing about COVID anyway. All right, beautiful people, that is it for today. That's the end of our live lesson. I am sorry the internet kept cutting. It isn't me, I'm afraid. I've got super hi-fi, super fast internet connection. But I think it's because everybody is using the internet right now and there are massive dips when we're working online. Anyway, that's it. I hope everybody stays safe and I hope everybody continues to do well and, you know, that you just stay safe and healthy. That's the main thing. All right, I will see you tomorrow for another wonderful live lesson. Drop me some comments on what you would like a lesson to be on tomorrow. Okay, if you tell me, I will do a nice lesson for you, the lesson of your dreams. So drop it in the comments and let me know. Okay, all right. See you tomorrow, everybody. Take care. Goodbye. And thank you.